Imagine this. You're at a party, a meetup, or even just a coffee shop. You see someone who looks genuinely cool. You want to say hi. You want to strike up a conversation. But suddenly, your heart starts drumming against your ribs like it's trying to escape. Your throat feels like you just swallowed a handful of dry sand. Your brain, which is usually full of brilliant ideas, suddenly goes completely blank. You end up staring at your phone, scrolling through apps you don't even like just to look busy. You walk away feeling like you missed an opportunity, invisible to the world. Does that sound familiar? Because if it does, I have a secret for you that is going to change your entire life. Shyness is not a life sentence. It is not a personality flaw. It's actually a superpower that's just currently set to the wrong frequency.
Today, we are deleting that feeling of being stuck forever. I'm going to give you the ultimate social cheat code. We're talking about a step-by-step, high-energy blueprint to go from the quietest person in the room to the one everyone wants to grab a drink with. And the best part? You don't have to pretend to be an extrovert. You don't have to become some loud, obnoxious version of yourself. We are going to use your natural personality to build a circle of friends that actually gets you. So take a deep breath, shake off that nervous energy, and let's dive into the psychology of how you're going to win at the social game.
First, we have to kill the biggest lie your brain tells you. It's called the spotlight effect. Right now, you probably feel like there's a giant neon sign over your head pointing out every awkward thing you do. You think everyone is watching you, judging your outfit, or waiting for you to stumble over your words. But here's the reality check. Everyone else is way too busy worrying about their own neon signs. They aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about whether there's food stuck in their teeth or if they said something dumb 5 minutes ago. When you realize that everyone is just as self-conscious as you are, the pressure evaporates. You aren't entering a room of judges. You're entering a room of people who are just as nervous and just as hungry for connection as you are.
Now, let's talk about the 3-second rule. This is the game changer. When you see someone you want to talk to, you have exactly 3 seconds to move before your brain starts overthinking. If you wait 4 seconds, your logic kicks in and tells you all the reasons why they might reject you. They look busy. They're talking to someone else. I have nothing to say. Stop. Don't let the brain gremlins win. Within 3 seconds, you just need to move your feet. Walk over. The moment you break that physical barrier, the hardest part is over.
But what do you actually say? This is where shy people usually panic. You think you need a Shakespearean monologue or a stand-up comedy routine. You don't. The most powerful opening line in human history is also the simplest. Hi, I don't think we've met yet. I'm, and then you say your name. That's it. It's clean, it's confident, and it forces a response. Or, if that feels too bold, use the context opener. Comment on something you are both experiencing. If the music is loud, say, I think I'm losing my hearing, but this beat is incredible, right? If the food is great, ask, is it just me, or are these sliders the best thing you've ever tasted? You are just inviting them to share a moment with you.
Once the conversation starts, I want you to use the investigator method. Shy people are naturally great observers. Use that. Instead of worrying about what you're going to say next, focus entirely on what they are saying. People absolutely love talking about themselves. It's literally a biological high for the brain. Ask open-ended questions. Don't ask, do you like your job? Because they'll just say yes. Ask, what's the craziest thing that's happened at your work this week? Or, how did you get into that hobby? When you ask how or why, you're opening a door for them to tell a story. And while they're talking, you aren't under the spotlight anymore. You're the director. You're guiding the scene. Here's a pro tip that will make you instantly likable, the FORD method. When you run out of things to say, just remember the acronym FORD. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Ask about their family or where they're from. Ask about what they do for a living. Ask what they do for fun on the weekends. Ask where they travel if they had $1 million. You can cycle through these 4 topics for hours and never have an awkward silence again. It's like having a mental teleprompter that always tells you what to do next. But let's be real. The scariest part isn't the talking, it's the fear of rejection. What if they're mean? What if they walk away? Listen closely. Rejection is just data. That's all it is.
If you try to talk to someone and they're cold or dismissive, that isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their day. Maybe they just got bad news. Maybe they're even shyer than you are. If a conversation doesn't land, you just say, "Anyway, it was nice meeting you," and walk away with your head high. You didn't lose. You practiced. You leveled up your social XP. The more you fail, the less power failure has over you. You want to get to the point where a no feels like nothing more than a shrug.
Now, where do you find these people? If you're shy, don't go to a massive, thumping nightclub where you can't hear yourself think. That's playing the game on extreme mode. Start on easy mode. Go to places where there's a shared interest. Book clubs, gaming tournaments, rock climbing gyms, volunteering events. When you're doing an activity together, the conversation happens naturally. You don't have to force it because you're both focused on the task at hand. The activity acts as a social lubricant. It gives you something to talk about without it feeling like an interview.
As the conversation starts to wrap up, this is where most people drop the ball. They have a great time, and then they just walk away and never see that person again. Don't do that. If you vibed with someone, you have to close the loop. Say something like, "Hey, I really enjoyed talking about that documentary with you. We should grab a coffee sometime and finish the debate. What's your Instagram or number?" It feels risky, but 99% of the time, the other person is thinking, "Thank goodness they asked because I was too nervous to do it." You aren't being pushy, you're being a leader. Once you have the contact info, the real work begins. Friendship isn't just a one-time meeting, it's about consistency. Reach out a couple of days later. Send them a meme related to what you talked about. Invite them to a group thing. You have to nurture the spark to turn it into a fire. Most people are waiting to be chosen. They're waiting for someone else to take the initiative. When you become the person who reaches out, you become the most valuable person in their social circle. I want you to challenge yourself starting tomorrow. I call it the 1-Minute Brave Challenge. For just 60 seconds a day, be someone who isn't shy. Just 1 minute. Use that minute to compliment a stranger's shoes or ask the barista how their day is actually going. Those 60 seconds of courage will start to bleed into the rest of your life. Before you know it, that shy label you've been carrying around will start to peel off. You'll realize that the only thing standing between you and a life full of incredible friends was a wall you built yourself, and you have the power to tear it down, brick by brick.
You have a unique perspective. You have stories worth telling. You have a kindness that the world needs. Don't keep all of that locked away just because you're afraid of a little awkwardness. Awkwardness is the price of admission for a great life. Pay it gladly. The next time you feel that hesitation, that pull to stay quiet and stay hidden, remember this. On the other side of that fear is your new best friend. On the other side of that hello is a version of your life that is louder, brighter, and way more fun. You've got the tools. You've got the script. Now go out there and show the world who you really are. I promise you, they're going to love it. Now get out there and make it happen.